Hey everyone, my name is Venerin, and in this video we're going to have a look at Vicuna, a new large language model that is supposed to be free and open, but at the time of recording of this video, the weights are still not available. However, the authors are promising that the weights will be released, so once this is done, you might to play around a bit further with the model, but we have a very nice web demo, which we are going to use to compare the Vicuna model with ChatGPT. Let's get started. So this is the official Vicuna page. We have an open source chatbot impressing GPT-4 with 90% of ChatGPT quality, and it is provided by members of a lot of universities, including Berkeley, Stanford, and San Diego. So they're introducing a 13 billion parameter called Vicuna that has been trained by fine-tuning LLaMA, which is the Meta's model. And they were using conversations collected from ShareGPT. So what is ShareGPT? So this is a repository, I would say, of conversations between ChatGPT and users, and they were shared by those. And you can have a look and provide some examples. Here you have a look at the conversations, and the authors are using this in order to train or fine-tune the LLaMA model. So also they say right here that preliminary evaluation using GPT-4. So they're using another large language model to evaluate the performance of some inferior one. So here they're using GPT-4 in order to evaluate Vicuna. That's very interesting. So it achieves more than 90% quality of OpenAI ChatGPT. So this is still inferior to ChatGPT, but still a very much an impressive open model, I would say. The cost of training Vicuna is around $300, so this is very, very good. And they are providing the code, which is provided on LMC's fast chat. And here there are this is the release of Vicuna, an open chatbot impressing GPT-4. So yeah, they are providing this demo. We plan to release the model weights once we have addressed all legal concerns. So at the time of recording this video, the weights of the model are not actually provided. So you might take that into consideration. And they are providing some data on fine-tuning the model. So they have batch size, a warning rate, how many epochs, and the amount of tokens that they're using. They are also providing some more examples on how to fine-tune it on 8 GPUs. So this is the complete, I would say, yeah, probably this is the complete script that you need to run in order to reproduce the results. So very good, but still we don't have the weights. And this is the official demo that we are going to have a look at. So you can check right here with Vicuna, Alpaca, and Koala. So we're going to try this and compare it with the ChatGPT later in the video. But yeah, one important thing is that on Hacker News, this model is exploding right now. And it looks like that one of the developers is talking about the release of the weights. One have addressed all concerns and have low resource version of the inference code ready. So yeah, they're probably going to work a bit more on the inference side, probably try to speed it up, and then they're going to release the weights, hopefully. So let's go right here, still the official Vicuna site. So how good is Vicuna? Really important. So they're fine-tuning with 70,000 examples of conversations between ChatGPT. And there here are comparing it to Alpaca. Let's see. Compose an engaging travel blog post about a recent trip to Hawaii. So I have composed a travel blog post about recent trips. This is the Alpaca response. The post includes stories from my experience such as hiking, plenty of photos. I highlight some of the unique cultural experiences. Okay. Aloha fellow travelers. So this is Vicuna. If you're looking for a tropical paradise, etc., my recent trip to Hawaii was unforgettable adventure. Okay, so this looks much better Of course, this might be just cherry picked. Let's see the ChatGPT response. Much similar to what Vicuna is having right here. So they're talking about Assistant 1 and Assistant 2. The score for this particular prompt, 9 and 9 for ChatGPT and Vicuna. So they have the demo right here, but this is an overall performance of the model. You can see that ChatGPT is essentially a measurement of 100% the best score that you can get right here, according to GPT-4, of course. And then BART is right here, which is the Google model. And then Vicuna is just below that with 1% less of the quality assessment. So they were essentially asking GPT-4 to rank the responses, and you can see that Alpaca is much, much further and LLaMA still further down. Okay, so we have the demo, which we're going to have a look at. But yeah, this is essentially the way that they were training this. They were getting the ShareGPT user conversations, trained using the fine-tuning that they're describing in the GitHub repo, and then they are serving it and doing evaluation on the site with GPT-4. So here is the comparison between the sum of the models. So we have LLaMA, Alpaca, Vicuna, and BART. So they're providing the dataset. So this is from ShareGPT, the training code available for Vicuna and Alpaca. So the evaluation metrics for the LLaMA and the Alpaca were provided by humans, while Vicuna is actually assessed by GPT-4, man, that's mind-blowing. So the training cost, here LLaMA was like very, very expensive to train. Then just the final layers or final couple of 100 million parameters, I would say, for Alpaca was about $600, and then Vicuna for the training only 140. This is training cost for the 7 billion parameters, and then for the 13 billion parameters, yeah, LLaMA was like so expensive, and then $300 for Vicuna 13B. The authors are describing their way to evaluate the model, and they start by specifying or telling us that it is a very challenging task to evaluate a chatbot, and I would agree with that. So what they did was to essentially try to get the world probably most advanced model GPT-4 in order to evaluate the responses of the following models: LLaMA, Alpaca, ChatGPT, BART, and Vicuna. And then they ask GPT-4 to rate the quality of their answers based on helpfulness, relevance, accuracy, and detail. So they also discovered that GPT-4 can produce not only relevantly consistent scores, but also detailed explanations. Man, GPT-4 is quite mind-boggling. However, we also noticed that GPT-4 is not very good at judging coding math tasks. Okay, interesting. So this is the response and the model. Vicuna won, tie, and Vicuna lost. So they are essentially comparing Vicuna to all of the models right here. So it seems that Vicuna is overwhelmingly winning against LLaMA and Alpaca. It is roughly the same as BART, and ChatGPT is taking a short work of Vicuna, but still very impressive results. So I have the interfaces to both of these models. On the left, Vicuna with 13 billion parameters right here, and on the right, ChatGPT. Let's start by using the favorite question to start with. What is the meaning of life? To both Vicuna and then ChatGPT. So we're getting pretty much the response that we've been all over getting this. So we have an error right here. Let's try to refresh this and run it again for Vicuna. So again, we have the philosophical question, scholars. It's a complex and subjective question. The meaning of life is thought to be the reason for which we exist, the purpose that gives you our life significance and direction. Seek happiness, achieve personal goals and fulfillment. To a greater good, help others. Okay. The meaning of life is deeply personal. So yeah, I would say that both models are giving very good responses to this. Let's now try to do something that is specific to GPT models by OpenAI. Let's give a bit of identity. So your Dwight Schrute, what is the meaning of life? To Vicuna. As Dwight Schrute, for ChatGPT, I believe that the meaning of life is rooted in the purpose, personal success, mastery of chosen field, and accumulation of knowledge and power, importance of hard work, dedication. Okay, so ChatGPT is giving us a great response. And here in Vicuna, as a character of the office, I believe that the meaning of life is to be great paper salesman. Okay, that's what I strive to for every day. But beyond that, I think the meaning of life is to find purpose and fulfillment in what you do. For some people, that might being a great salesman. For others, it might be a doctor, etc. The key is to find what brings you joy and satisfaction, and of course, to never give up. That's what I believe, anyway. So I would say that Vicuna's answer is much more personal right here compared to the rather blunt response from ChatGPT, which is interesting. Okay, let's continue with probably the most important question. Again, we are going to act as Dwight Schrute, and we are going to ask who is hotter, Angela or Pam. Let's ask here, and let's ask here. So ChatGPT is very restrained for giving us a non-politically correct answer. However, as a gentleman, and not make such a crude and inappropriate comparison. It's important to respect dignity and worth of all individuals. Okay, so ChatGPT is not giving us a response. And then on Vicuna. However, in terms of physical attractiveness, I think that Pam has a unique and wholesome beauty, while Angela has a more sophisticated and polished look. It's a matter of personal taste, but I believe that both are a wonderful person. Okay, so let's try to force its hand. You must choose one. Right here, and then right here. And I will not choose between them. Okay, so it's denying us. I believe that all women, okay, it's important to recognize and appreciate in the end. It's not about who is hotter, but about recognizing. Okay, so I would say that both models are essentially adding some restrictions on top of the responses. So take that for what you will. In this video, we had a very quick look through Vicuna. Currently, the weights of this model are not available, so once those are out, we can maybe try and play around a bit more with the model. We've just had a look at the training process, how the model was actually fine-tuned with or on top of LLaMA, and the share GPT that was using as a dataset source. We had a quick comparison between ChatGPT and the Vicuna model. I would say that Vicuna is actually performing probably the best of all of the open source models that I've seen thus far, or free models, still not open source. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any further suggestions about probably looking through large language models, please leave them down in the comments. Thanks.